Officially, the race calendar has activated. Yes, the very first race, the Bahrain Grand Prix, took place over the weekend, and we were super excited. In fact, we just glued our eyes to the screens of to see who actually took the championship lead. And surprisingly, this may look like 2023 in a rewind. But more than the rewind, there is a bit more spice to it because off track is equally giving more drama. Welcome to another episode of Formula Pod. We are going to delve deep into all these topics and the main guy, the Bahrain Grand Prix. And on today's episode, the entire crew, along with our finally committed guy, Jason, is also back. So yeah, apparently three team representations, which with four guys with four people down here, pretty nice, right? So yeah, welcome everyone to the show. Vishwadeep here from the UK and Jason from his empty dark room in Dubai.
It's pretty dark here because it's I don't know, it's pretty rainy outside, and
Power
it's very
cut,
very uncommon,
rain.
right? You know what happens when it rains in Dubai? There you go. Everything just switches off. But
Raining everywhere now.
it is
You're
it
just
is.
you're just making it sound that Dubai doesn't have electricity, where actually it's like a thing.
Ah,
But anyways,
when it
how
rains,
are,
it
how
rains.
how about people in the UK? How are things going on for you guys?
Boring, as usual. Both places.
I
Nothing
love
new.
that. I love that.
Nothing new.
What about the man in Exeter? How's it going?
Um, we got one good news is we have electricity, we have light. The bad thing is it's very depressing because I haven't seen sunlight in like 2 days. So
Okay.
there is no source of sunlight and becomes very cold, very gray. So it's not the best. But we gotta adapt from where we are. Talking about
Uh,
adapting, um, let's talk about Formula One adaptation. Teams are not doing well. Some teams are doing extremely well.
okay, let me ask. The team that is doing extremely well in your words is Red Bull Racing. Is
Uh,
that
I
the
actually I actually stopped talking about Red Bull because Red Bull is like when you compare any team with Red Bull, it's like why are you comparing such a
Mhm.
such a team? But I feel like Red Bull now has caused a little bit of drama for for
Well,
F1.
let's actually first talk about the race, but then we'll go to the drama very soon itself. Speaking about the race, okay, preseason testing and the free practice actually gave us some hopes, but in actual reality, when we saw all cars on track, what were basically happening? From one perspective, I started understanding Alpine is the new Haas, like last of the grid, no points. What like the most even in preseason testing, it was said Alpine is going to be the most lowest car. But then this time, let's even talk about Haas. Made it to Q3 of qualifying.
Yeah, that's
Nico
something new.
Hulkenberg extracted every bit of it in the Haas, which even like we have like an internal chat, and Mihir very nicely called Nico Hulkenberg to like go and sit in the place where he actually should be.
I mean, I was very shocked when I saw. Like it took me like a second. I was like, "Why is there that's a Haas? That's a Haas." I was like, "Whoa, that is crazy." So talent speaks here.
No,
Love the
of course.
car.
Like, let me give the exact words. Q3 Haas, excuse me. Who invited you?
Yeah,
That
that's
was the
exactly what
exact
I.
words. The exact word
Love
by
that
word
line.
thing.
I loved it.
But yeah, and of course, like I thought Kick Sauber will be actually having some more performance, but in reality, it's still Alfa Romeo back
It's still
again.
the same, yeah.
No, that's why I'm asking. Like, is this like a 2023 rewind?
It feels like it with, I think, little faster Ferraris and McLarens and kind of Mercedes as well.
Can I just say at one point, Max Verstappen was 40 seconds ahead.
I
Yeah.
saw that. I was no, I don't know if you guys have observed from Carlos Sainz and above. whoever did their final pit stop didn't actually lose their position because of the time gap between themselves and the driver after them.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a moment, I'm like, okay, this is quite interesting. I actually expected things to be another way around, but
Hmm.
Max still manages to have a fast car and still, I don't know,
Dominates, dominates
I
everything.
but I remember like when we started this podcast, Mihir saying like with the first race alone, you cannot kind of judge everything out.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
need to like wait for at least three races in order to just kind of understand and evaluate every situation, and then after that, give your verdict on the car. So again, this is basically the first proper race space we get to see of all cars. But yeah, I want to know from Jason. Finally, he watched a race after a long time.
I
He was,
was
he was very, he was very much excited to even get F1 TV Pro, but he didn't end up getting because I gave him a streaming site.
yeah. No, I was at the graduation, so it was kind of difficult. But yeah,
Okay.
but I think we have a chance this year at Ferrari. I think we do. We have a little bit of a chance, and the chance comes when Max struggles a little bit.
Look at you with all your hopes and dreams.
No,
You,
but Jason, one
All in
second, Jason,
Mir,
fairyland.
before
Jason.
you say something, can I just reply to Vishruti? I
Yeah, please
think
go ahead.
there's somewhere eight somewhere. Where do I? Is that down? That's yeah.
Oh, how sad.
Yeah, Mir, what are you saying?
I'm saying realistically, Jason, for just for a moment, let's be realistic, right? Do you actually think that Ferrari is going to turn some tables this season? Just be very, very realistic. No
No, no,
supporting, no
no.
nothing. Be
Very,
very
yeah.
no.
I think yes. I think yes. I think yes.
Okay.
But it's the
And
first race, so
how are you so confident? Is it because you've seen the testing? Is it because you've seen something
the
during the race that you really liked and you saw maybe this could be the right
see, I
way?
think the testing was crazy for us. It was pretty good as well. But the pace in
Hmm.
qualifying was also great. But somehow during the race we fumbled a bit. But that's fine. We're still what 25 seconds behind the Red Bull. Given that he started the race first, it's normal. So we just have to find that small advantage of which circuit we're good on, or we're better.
Do
We're
you
better than the
think
Red Bulls. So, but it's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult, but we have to find that circuit or that small edge where we slightly beat them. If I make sense.
okay? Yeah, that does make sense.
No, and also, what I personally felt was Max Verstappen only got pole position because he got that toe from Oscar Piastri, or
Mhm.
else we were realistically looking the Ferrari to actually be on pole.
No, I disagree with that.
What? Why so?
That's because Red Bull's powertrain or PT is very, very strong. The car pulls very, very quick in the straight lines that Ferrari still needs to catch up on. Any Formula One car, not just Ferrari, but I think in terms of, from what I've understood, the Mercedes is really good at turns. Braking is still slightly off. Ferrari is, well, Leclerc was off on braking. There was a lot of oversteering from his side on turn 14. George Russell, I think there was a battery issue as well. So
Mhm.
I think Red Bulls really nailed it with the car they wanted to produce, and they're very happy. They were very skeptical about this season, but I think that Red Bull will dominate this season whatsoever, looking at their performance from race one. But things can change. So, Arjun, you might be right, but from what I've seen, I think Red Bull's going to dominate this year.
Uh, if I can just I have just one small
Go
thoughts,
on,
but
go
I
on.
think Mercedes is a team that surprised me because shockingly they have a decent car, but it's a second place, third place car, so it's not a nowhere it's gonna compete with Red Bull, but it's a second place, third place car.
No,
No,
personally,
and I absolutely agree with him.
but
Yeah.
what I personally thought was Mercedes got the equation right with the aero. Now it's the only problem with the engines.
Mhm.
Because what I'm understanding is Mercedes powered cars actually were having overheating issues.
Yeah.
Because if you have seen Alex Albon's like display, like a good couple of laps, there was the indication coming in car too hot,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did see that.
and that was the same thing with which I personally think Mercedes lost like 6 tenths performance against Red Bull and Ferraris probably. Like McLaren's didn't have any issues, but then it was very much evident within Mercedes and Williams.
Williams.
Yep. But let's actually talk about another team which gave way too much hype. Visa Cash RV or VCARB. Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo. What was that radio spat going on? Like for the first time, Yuki actually having team orders.
Yeah.
Like are we like okay? Red like VCarb now has a new team principal, Lauren Mickey's from Ferrari. Is he actually playing the Ferrari game over here? Being like, okay, team orders, you move, give him the space. Like thoughts on that, guys?
Just seeing, I mean, you could have, when they switched, or when Tsunoda was asked to switch with Daniel, you could see that Daniel was actually faster, but he wasn't able to catch up as much as was needed to Magnussen.
Okay.
But the I, I felt like I was watching the old Yuki for like a split second, but then at the
With
same
Pierre?
time with Pierre, but at the same not with initially like when he used to get angry at stuff and whatever, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I feel like at the same time, if Daniel did not have the pace, I mean, it was towards the end of the race, you could not have done much. This was just a
Exactly.
decision that was taken in the hopes that it would work, and it didn't work, and Daniel was not able to overtake Magnussen. But the switch was made, what was done was done. In the end, it wasn't exactly what they wanted.
Okay, guys, down there, me and Jason,
I'm just
thoughts.
seeing the stats from the race. So the I think Daniel was his average pace was way quicker than Yuki's, which just tells a lot. And I think when the order came in, or when the order came through for Yuki to let him through, I don't think that happened quickly, as quick as it should have happened. So if that did happen quickly, then obviously he had a good chance to catch Magnussen. But also those horses have they're flying for some reason. I don't know how or why, but the horses are good. But yeah, again, Yuki should have just it's a team order. Just let him through. Anyways, it's not like you're going to get a point out of it, right? But you might as well
Yeah.
just try to get
Mhm.
closer to getting that 1 point at least. So that's what I just feel.
Mihir, your thoughts on this Yuki Daniel spat?
Honestly, I have no data on this, and I don't have any reasoning. Maybe they saw Ricardo's car being quicker than Yuki's, and the switch was needed. Or it could be a marketing technique where they want him to be on top of Yuki because Daniel is a profound driver. But I have no idea, and I don't want to make any statements from my side because I have no knowledge about this as much as you guys do. So I'm just. It seems like a tactical situation from my side, but I actually know I don't know the reason. All I know is I read through some of the comments. I was trying to
Hmm.
figure out what was happening, but I really couldn't really understand the whole synopsis of what and why this happened.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know whether I can even call that marketing thing because to kind of bring some attention to the team. But of course, you should not be sacrificing another driver's thing again because Daniel did look quicker. But then when he was told to give place, Daniel was struggling to actually do the
Yeah.
overtake because I don't know. Probably on one end, Yuki must have been trying to make it a bit more harder for him in terms of getting that thing completely executed out. But yeah, other than Yuki and Daniel, Lewis Hamilton complaining his seat is broken. We know a Formula One car seat is normally pretty strong unless and until it has, if the impact of the damage was quite high and the seat was broken. Because last year we saw with Esteban Ocon say complaining his seat was broken after like an insane contact. But Lewis Hamilton with a broken seat, I don't know if you've seen those memes where people were like, Lewis Hamilton saying, it's broken seat. And someone and the comment was like, you can get a proper seat with Scuderia Ferrari. For a second, I was like, damn. uh, like it was pretty interesting, I would say, like seeing that meme, to be very honest. Like broken seat, I want to know from the Mercedes man himself, here. Look him with a broken seat normally, let's say, what is like how does that affect the performance of the car?
Okay, let me give you a very good example. Arjun, you walking,
Okay.
okay, and one of your right foot, the right shoe, the sole is tampered, so so it flops, so it's come out.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
does the performance of walking go by?
Well, of course, your
Maybe it
speed
is
reduces.
exactly, and that's what it is. And for a Formula One seat is not just it's not one of the most important things, but it is one of the crucial things because that's where the driver sits. That's where he controls everything. Obviously, there's the engine. There's so many factors, but that component is so strong, and that braking from heat, vibration, it could be anything. Um,
Okay.
it's surprising when he said that because in my head, when I was watching the race, I was like, if his seat's broken, don't they have to DNF the car? Because that's a safety procedure, right? Because let's say hypothetically, God forbid, if he gets into a crash, he could fly off, or maybe he could dig inside the car, or the
Mhm.
side pods might affect the way they've been doing testing. So I feel like sometimes these people also do bluff a little bit just to make other teams. But what kind of a bluff is seat is broken? Like
No, of course, and it was very evident in the in Lewis's car itself. Like he was not as quick as George.
George was compared to the
George,
Mercedes, he was quite quick.
George was in fact very quick, but then with Lewis, like you've been seeing like the positions kind of going up and down, and then finishing eighth. Like it wasn't the best result, I would say. Like for him to kind of kick off his final season with Mercedes.
Hmm.
Um, But yeah, to the man of the Ferraris, what do you think? Is he going to get a? I'm not going to ask. Is he going to get a seat with Ferrari because he already got for this next year?
Can I just say one thing before
Go
we
on.
continue anything?
Sure.
As obviously, I mean, everyone knows I'm a diehard Lewis fan and a Mercedes fan. Um, but it hurts for me to say this, but I generally feel like Lewis is losing it per race. Like he's not performing as well. It could be age, it could be the pressure, or it could be, from what I've heard, that Mercedes isn't listening to him as much as he wants to chase the car. So there are so many factors, and I think it's really affecting Lewis as a driver and a person. And in the one of the post interviews that he did, he said, "Are we going to see any upgrades for Saudi?" And he clearly said, "We will see. Like, there's nothing to improve, but yeah, we'll see." And this really shows that he's really given up on Mercedes. And obviously, I think as much as Lewis and Toto have a great relationship, it also comes from the team where the team's listening to him.
Mhm.
And it's a very emotional comment that he made because it made me feel like, oh damn, like he's mentally and physically getting ready to leave Mercedes and go to Ferrari to seek more opportunities for his
Mhm.
career. So I just want to say that he's not doing good. He's not doing well at all for what he's supposed to do. It's very easy for me to say this because I'm sitting down here chilling, and he's the one training and driving a car. But we have seen him in the best. We have seen him drive like without any like he's driven to perfection in each corner. And seeing him like this, I'm pretty sure I speak more than half of Lewis fans that we've just devastated from him a little bit. But I'm still gonna support him, obviously. but it just makes me very emotional seeing a
Hmm.
legendary driver fall per race.
Can I just comment on this? Because
Go on, go on, go
every
on.
time a driver gets a contract with another team and they have whatever time left at their current team, that driver always faces issues, no matter which team it is. Uh,
But Carlos is doing absolutely
yeah,
perfectly. Carlos was when he came P3. I remember this comment that someone made was like, "Where the hell is the team members when he finished
the
P3?"
team members were there. They
Yeah.
were there behind. They were there behind. But
Okay.
it's yeah. But I think it's a trend where somebody signs with another team and then their performance dips. But it's also because Mercedes want to focus more on George maybe, and maybe that's not the case of what they're trying to show on social media. But I'm sure if you're Toto, you would think, okay, why am I gonna keep pushing Lewis's car more than George's, right? Because now it's George who's
Uh-huh.
sticking with us, so we might as well prioritize his car and try to give him the best. That's just what I think it is.
Right.
Vishati, you want to add anything to it though?
I think Lewis should be. I don't know. He's having issues in the beginning of the year, and I feel. I mean, this is last year in Mercedes. I just hope that it doesn't carry on for the rest of the races because the least Mercedes should give him a good last year because he's been with them for forever. So I just hope this doesn't continue and he's able to actually push more than necessary, even though,
Hmm.
as what Mihir says, is he seems like he's given up, but I hope not. And I hope that he's actually being able to push to the last.
Well, personally speaking, like I have seen a lot of comments where, like in the last year's DTS itself, he said that he said to the engineers, but then they didn't listen, and then finally when
Mm-hmm.
the race came out, they were like, "Oh, you were right." So to kind of counter that this year, it is claimed that they have heard to Lewis's suggestions and did the trims, and in fact, even George Russell also came out and said like, "Okay, like they have actually heard like the engineers have finally started hearing out the drivers because
Yeah.
normally that wasn't the case." So yeah, again, as I said before, it's just the first race. Let's actually see whether more and more in the more and more races, if the performance is actually dipping or is it still there? Because of course, you from one end you're saying like, okay, probably when the driver is and nearing his end of term, they may be performing poorly. But as Mihir said, I have to support with that. Carlos is doing a fab job. Like he's like probably, I think probably Carlos is just being like, okay, it may be my last year, but before
Smooth
anyone else wants,
operator.
yep. So before anyone ends up getting that kind of a place, at least he wants to position himself being the Ferrari driver who gets in the drivers' championship a second or a third
Wasn't Carlos
or even a
wasn't
first.
Carlos at Red Bull before or their B team?
Carlos was a Red Bull
McLaren.
Academy
Okay.
driver. No, he was a
Yeah,
Red
but
Bull Academy driver.
20,
then he went
Carlos
to
was Red Bull.
McLaren.
2025.
Yeah.
Here we come. Back to Red Bull. Kiki. Ra.
Do we really think so?
Yes, of course.
Well, bro, we just started the season. Don't tell like things for 2025. We just started the season.
I
Let it
know, but
go.
Let's go with the flow,
my
Jason.
mind's
Exactly.
in 2025
I'm
already. Just
I'm
imagine Lewis
I'm
and
I'm
Charles.
actually I'm actually like figuring out tickets to book for Qatar Grand Prix and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Like I'm figuring out tickets for that, and you're telling me 2025, please.
I think
So
Uh,
let's.
Max may just win it this year. So it's better we focus on 2025.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm so sorry. This is like non-relevant. I just want to say it out now, right now. I just want to
uh-huh.
see Mishafi's face. I got that. I got the Lando Norris's bodywork frame, the rectangular thing.
Oh my God!
It's coming in 2 weeks.
Can you please send me a picture of it when I see it? Or when we meet,
Absolutely
can you like
not.
bring it, please?
Absolutely not. It's staying right here next to Louis.
Please.
So what's for the people?
Next to me.
So we were having such a
And
serious conversation.
we may
Sorry.
we may be saying Yuki and Daniel, but the actual feud is between Vishruti and Mihir.
Oh,
Hell yes.
oh,
Now yes.
oh my
The actual
God.
feud is happening here. The actual Formula Pod feud happens over here. But
For
again,
people,
okay, Mihir, you want to say something? Go for it.
yeah, I just want to tell people what it is. Basically, it's a case of Lando Norris's
Listen to this
2 years ago. His car. So what they do is sometimes Formula One. If you go on the Formula One website, they have this store, and you go to Authentic, and they have like parts from that car or that year which you can buy.
Mhm.
And then it was a really good price. It was under 300 pounds, and I was like, you know what? Why
Under how
not?
much
300
pounds?
pounds.
Under 300 pounds.
Under 100 pounds. Let me calculate
300
300.
that.
pounds.
300 pounds,
300 pounds?
Arjun.
Wait, let me do the live
It was
calculation for that right
200
now.
something. That's what I remember him sending.
Yeah, but you add on tax and delivery.
Bro, you just spent like. Oh, okay, I don't know if you guys have seen, like, there was like a full thunder going off.
Yeah, so that.
279. God, just look at it.
Dude, that's like 1,300 dirhams.
So beautiful.
It's a piece of art, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's like,
Mihir, I'm
Honestly,
actually on this site.
Arjun has a autograph on it, Arjun.
I'm on this site right now. I'm thinking to get a few things from here.
me too.
exactly, dude.
A
You
few
I'm
want
so
things,
us?
bro, really. A few things. Can you give me like some money, please? I would love some money right now.
You can buy a full-fledged Formula One car
Yeah.
for 250,000 pounds, bro. And I was looking at my wallet, and I was like, I'm not, no, but soon. Not yet.
Oh, totally. But anyways, coming back to the entire Bahrain Grand Prix, this was basically Lewis Hamilton's worst result since the hybrid era engines came into existence. So since 2014, probably, yeah, 2014 hybrid era engines came in. So since then, it has been bad. But anyways, this I'm pretty sure we have spoken a lot about the track drama, but off track is basically how I'll say it's cooking even more drama. As in, let's basically keep.
Actually,
Yeah,
Arjun, before we get into it, I need a moment to talk about Valtteri's pit stop.
of course, let's talk
We
about
haven't
it.
touched upon that. We need to talk about Valtteri's pit stop. That, I think, is the longest pit stop I've ever seen in my life.
No, that is
And
the
there's
longest pit stop ever.
that
Probably, yeah.
there's I don't know. I mean, I know what went wrong, but at the same time, a minute?
No,
You
like
know,
I was. Go
I
ahead.
was listening to one of the commentators, and he was like, "Yep, that's the longest pit stop ever," and I was like, "That's great."
No, but honestly, like I was seeing it was the front right. So there's the
Yeah,
front left, the front left,
front
the
left.
front left. Actually, like the guy came for the pit stop, got the tires in, but then he couldn't tighten the bolt,
Mm-hmm.
and then they took the tires out, and we are actually seeing smoke coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how on earth? It's your very first race. You end up doing things like this. Like the car has hardly probably must have gone for like 300 or 400 kilometers the best. I don't know whether it's in more than that or not. But really, like first race situations, like, okay, that means that actually shows how unreliable the components are.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the race with a friend outside, and she was like, "Oh, it could be the brakes overheating or whatever."
Apparently, of course, we know Lewis Hamilton leaving and stuff, and then more suitors now to occupy his seat. First, we thought it was going to be Kimi Antonelli because he's supposed to be the next Max Verstappen. But then on another end, we are like Sebastian Vettel may make a return because he finally said that he would like to race, and that's going to be a different story, in fact. Or else, who? Max Verstappen? Is that going to be the case?
Oh
Does
my God,
Toto
the
finally get his wish list driver?
the stuff that I've been seeing online, I don't know. We keep sending each other like on the group chat. We keep sending each other like, "Oh, Max might shift to Mercedes," or "Max is not happy with this. Yes, Verstappen's talking to Toto," and I'm like, "What's actually going on?" I want like a concrete answer because Max has a contract.
No, but Max has a contract exit clause
Yeah,
where he cannot be stopped by anyone, and he can leave on his own will.
he does have a really lengthy contract till what, 2028?
Yes, he has a. So this is something which I saw from the Twitter account, fastest pit stop. An exit clause exists in Max Verstappen's contract that allows him to leave Red Bull immediately.
Hmm.
So even it can be second race, third race, but I'm pretty sure he'll not do mid
Yeah.
race, mid season exit. He won't do it. Of course, he's Max Verstappen. And yeah, it also says according to this clause, he's free to leave if Helmut Marko leaves Red Bull.
Oh.
Yeah. And Helmut Marko says, as far as I'm concerned, I will not stand in Max's way. The same words what Toto used for Lewis, so Lewis wanting to leave Mercedes last year. The exact same words. I will not stay in his way.
Do you think personally, Arjun, that this is possible that Max would leave Red Bull even after having seasons like this?
Let me ask you this. When Lewis Hamilton joined Mercedes, Mercedes was the fifth team in the constructors, McLaren was the first. And that time, who was it? Yeah, that time, Nicky Lauda actually said, if you may be winning first, but if you win it with Mercedes, you would be the first driver to win the championship.
Hmm.
So again, we don't know whether will that be the case because probably Mercedes having a rough seasons. I don't know the season how it's going to be, but being that rough season, if Max Verstappen is the person who actually could bring things back to normal, you may not know.
Yeah.
Because
He's
again,
a
we have
very
seen pictures of Jost Verstappen, Max Verstappen's father, actually talking to Toto Wolff.
Hmm.
So you don't know how Formula One is happening because everything, I believe, since Hamilton leaving Mercedes is completely unpredictable. But Mihir, go on, what you were saying.
I will make a statement, a very bold statement, so everyone hear out. If Max comes to Mercedes, I will support Max.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
If Max comes to Mercedes, I will support Max. But I just want to let you know that my heart is still with Lewis. But the only reason I dislike Max at this moment is because I do appreciate his talent. I do appreciate the way he drives, but it's the car doing most of the work. I want to see him actually struggle a bit with Mercedes and maybe teach Mercedes something that Red Bull hasn't taught them yet.
Hmm.
Wow, wow, wow.
I'm
Solid
still,
statement
I'm
out
still
there.
reeling in from the, I'm still reeling in from the fact that he said that he would support Max. Because as of Saturday after the race, I was telling the friend that I went to watch the race with that I respect Max, but I don't like Max. I respect his driving and I respect Max. But at the same time, I'm so bored of him winning.
And then I have a friend over here who when Lewis came to Expo, yelled Supermax.
Oh shit.
Who was that?
Oh my god.
Oh my
Guess,
god.
Just sees
guess,
Yes, yes.
guess who it would be.
Jason. Look at him. He's so full of pride.
No, and you won't believe it. We were like in like I probably think like 30 centimeters away from Lewis Hamilton because we got the very front row, and this guy yells Supermax, and I'm like, bro,
How
what?
on earth could you do that, Jason?
It's called courage. It's called guts. That's the word. Now, but look.
I'm
Now he's
sure.
coming to Ferrari, so obviously I'm gonna support him. So
Yeah, he's going to change from like Forza Ferrari to Forza Hamilton.
Hamilton.
nah, it'll always be Forza Ferrari.
Let's see, 2025 is a big time to talk. And also, what's with Red Bull? Civil war. I personally feel Red Bull has got a full civil war going on because Jost Verstappen giving some very absurd comments with Christian Horner coming in. And then at another end, we are seeing Red Bull saying Red Bull an information coming in where Red Bull was ready to kind of fire Christian Horner, but Christian Horner called his lawyers in and actually put
Yeah.
Red Bull in like a gridlock that they cannot fire Christian Horner, and Christian Horner making a statement by bringing his wife to Bahrain and then walking in front of media holding her hands. What is actually going on with Red Bull?
Arjun, just for the people listening in and whoever don't know about what's happened with Horner, can you please tell us or just give us a brief summary?
Yeah, sure thing. So, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner earlier this year, before the preseason testing, was basically accused of being. Um, I don't know exactly what is the term to actually use over here, but it was claimed that he was. What I'll say, yeah, it was claimed he was having inappropriate behavior. So this was first reported by the Telegraph, that's like a Dutch newspaper, and then Red Bull, the main Red Bull headquarters, GmbH, in based out of Austria, launched an investigation, which had so much questioning happened and all those, and then everyone were actually waiting for the result of what the verdict coming out, whether Christian Horner will remain Red Bull's team principal or not. But pretty much it has been the talk of the town that after Red Bull's founder Dietrich Mateschitz actually passed away, things have been starting to rumble around in Red Bull.
Hmm.
So this actually was a long investigation, probably I believe it took like a good I believe like a good 30 to 60 days in fact to get the entire investigation out, and it cleared him of all charges. But then the day this verdict came, the very next day, Formula One media, team principals, and officials of Formula One actually got the documents and pictures leaked with all the details about Christian Horner's what Christian Horner was accused of. So that's why during free practice 3, Christian Horner was meeting Mohammed bin Sulayem and Stefano Domenicali and having the chat. So yeah, basically this was the case, and now Jos Verstappen came out with a very beautiful statement. I shall read it. There is tension while Horner remains in the position. The team is in danger of being torn apart. It can't go on the way it is. He's playing the victim. He is the one causing the problems. So as per Max's dad, Jos Verstappen, Christian Horner is the core reason of the problems in Red Bull.
Okay. I mean,
Well, that I can only explain it that much,
I think
basically.
that was a good that
So
was a
that's
good
why,
explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very good, Arjun. Thank
yeah.
you.
yeah. So it's pretty much on that end now. Red Bull people giving it a claim that a civil war is going on in Red Bull.
Arjun, do you think the way they're performing, there's a civil war going on there?
Again, team being different. Probably say I don't know if you've seen an Alpine where at a time a morale problem came up. It can be
Yeah.
something similar. It can be something similar. And
I
again,
mean,
Max
Christian,
Max cannot play silly anymore because Max is a three-time world champion.
yeah.
He is looking to equal that with Sebastian Vettel this year.
Hmm.
So we don't know like how it's going to play out, but I'm pretty sure Max, because Max apparently has been asked to support Christian Horner publicly.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
Christian Horner in his interview with Sky Sports, I don't know, the one that was, I saw it somewhere that he was asked a couple of questions, and at the end they're like, "How's the morale after the investigation and everything?" And then Christian was like, "No, there's nothing wrong. We move on. We have to focus on Bahrain. There should not be any issues." It doesn't seem like there's any issues given that Red Bull had a 1-2. Maybe there's something going on, but then they're putting that aside, focusing on the racing during race weekends, putting that as their priority, and then maybe dealing with that internally amongst themselves if there is anything to deal with.
well, yeah, any more further to add with this Red Bull's tensions? The off track tensions, not on track. On track, we have forgot about them. Yeah, I know. Oh, Mihir, you want to wrap up, right? Okay, I'm not going to
Um,
take.
yeah, I'll have to, yeah,
Okay,
because it's
just give
late.
me like 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah,
5
yeah, go
minutes.
for it. Yeah.
Okay. Um, But keeping the Red Bull part aside, we need to actually even talk about um, a potential return of the Turkish Grand Prix. So Turkish Grand Prix happening at the Istanbul Park, where Lewis Hamilton won his final world title out of the seven.
Mhm.
The seventh one he earned over there. Track which is highly technical, matters is in talks to return because this is basically after a conversation between FIA team, not FIA. Why I say FIA team principal? God, it's not FIA team principal. It is FIA President Mohammed bin Sulaim talking to the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. So serious conversation out there. So it is said probably they will come back with F1 and World Endurance Championship happening in Turkey. If
Hmm.
that comes out again, an amazing track. But Mihir, I want to ask if Turkish Grand Prix, the Istanbul Park, can you give like a just to kind of to our listeners in terms of how that track is?
Max, 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 Super, Max, Max, Super, Super.
Okay, so coming back to Arjun's question, obviously, the track has 14 turns, so that's very interesting because the more turns there is, there's more opportunities for overtake. Um, it's a mixed variety of slower speeds. There's also a very good. There are two bowls. When I say bowls, it's a curved speeding line. So you could overtake at that time, but you don't have to necessarily slow down your car. And just a little bit of information for you guys. A Formula One car is not about speed and a straight line. Formula One cars, you calculate them how fast they go around a corner. That's where the
Okay.
aerodynamics and weight come in, right? And Turkey really does test Formula One cars on their turns, agility, and speed. So Turkey coming back on the grid is, I think, a very positive thing to for all the viewers, and plus more races, more drama.
No, but because there was also the same week there was a discussion that there were going to be rotating races in Europe because again you cannot all because 24 races itself is like a big stretch coming in.
Hmm.
So we don't know. Probably if I would personally would like to see Istanbul come back on the track and kind of like see how how drivers would come in because technically not all drivers in the current grid have basically had a chance to drive at Istanbul Park track. But yeah, finally, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. What are our predictions for Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? Mihir, I know you have to leave right now, so start off. Any predictions?
You're muted. Predict away.
And
Just predict. Just predict and leave. Yeah, you're again muted.
my predictions, Jason, you're gonna love me for this. I'm gonna say Carlos. Well, obviously Max, Carlos, Lando Norris.
Okay, cool. You are successful. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm
Jason,
just gonna let Vishruti go first before me. So, Vishruti?
it's not first, second.
Yeah.
She's already
Whatever. She can go out before me.
One. It's Saudi. I have hope for Carlos and Lando yet. So either Lando Carlos or Carlos Lando. And then because I love Hamilton, Hamilton.
Unrealistic. Unrealistic as
Whoa.
always.
I just don't want see it's a street circuit. It's a street circuit. I feel like they will be pulling off Singapore again.
Hmm.
All right. Jason, any
Yeah, I
thoughts?
think she's being.
Any
I think. I
what's
think
your
Vishruti is being like
what
super unrealistic right now. With Lando there.
Oh, says
With
you.
Lando,
Says
with
you.
Lando up there. No, I think it's gonna be Carlos. P1. P2
Mhm.
would be who do I say? I'm going for George Russell in P2,
Ooh, interesting.
and
Interesting.
and P3 would be Max.
A Max P3, interesting. That is actually pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that
Uh,
we've just ditched Charles, I feel so
Yeah,
bad.
he's fourth, fifth. He's gonna be above Lando for sure, above the McLarens. So,
Mm-mm.
all right. So my prediction, I would say, would be I'm going to put my eggs quite safely, deposit them quite
mm-hmm.
safely. Um, but I don't want to jinx it as well
Okay.
because that is one problem. So I will
Yep.
say, um, Charles,
Okay.
Charles having a P1. We'll see Charles, Max, Charles, Max, Sergio.
Okay. Diplomatic.
Bro.
Again, I just I just want to support my nice driver Hamilton's future
Future
teammate.
teammate.
So yeah, that's why.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay. Cool.
And yeah, before we wrap up, the newest drama on the grid is basically the FIA president being in investigation for involving in a race
Mm-hmm.
result. So this race was none other than the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix last year, and this was a part where Fernando Alonso was supposedly to get a penalty, but due to Mohammed bin Salim's um, involvement, the penalty was taken off. So this is the big topic which is going on right now. Like personally, like yeah, I don't know Mohammed bin Salim, but then he came into FIA, bringing in quite a good amount of changes in the sport. So we don't know how this entire thing is going to turn around, but potentially we will see how that investigation goes because I pretty much like him as a team principal. Sorry, not a team principal. So why am I even saying team principal? An FIA president. But yeah, any thoughts? Anything to add
Yeah.
further?
So what I'll do is after we're done with this recording, I'll just go and give him a call and just check with him what's happening. After that,
You know, this guy talks like as if all these people are his
after
pals.
that, I'll ask him to resign and to recommend my name, and then we'll just wave off the issue completely.
I think we should be used to this by now, no?
Mm-hmm.
Jason
I know
going on like they're his
I
best
haven't
friends.
I haven't seen Jason in quite a while, so that's why this is not a used thing for me.
No, but I don't think
So
maybe he would have done it. Maybe he wouldn't have. Let the FIA figure it out for themselves.
all
Yeah.
right, then that's pretty much it. I would say like after a great difficulty getting everyone in and then coming in, this has been a pretty much of a success. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Pod. Please do like, share, and subscribe. As always, podcast is available across all your favorite podcast platforms. Please support us through our Instagram pages from formula.pod. Until next time, this is the entire crew down here at Formula Pod signing off. Goodbye.